welcome back to our channel. So hopping right into the video, we are making white chicken enchiladas for our first recipe. So I have some cheese, rotisserie chicken, cream of chicken soup, some sour cream, and flour tortillas. So the first thing that you want to do is preheat your oven to 375, and then we're going to start making our sauce mixture. So you're going to use your sour cream and your cream of chicken soup, and you're going to mix that together. I believe you could also use green chilies, but I was not able to find them at our store, so we're just going to do without it. You're just going to mix that together really well until you don't see any more yellow. And then we're going to get into our chicken. So I took the chicken and I just used a hand mixer. I love to do that to shred my chicken. If you haven't tried that, go ahead and try that. I promise you, you will not regret it. And as you can see, basically double the amount of chicken that I had. So now I sprayed my pan with nonstick spray, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just put that sauce mixture at the bottom of my pan. And then we're gonna start with our tortillas. So for the enchiladas, I am going to put the sauce mixture, and then we're gonna do the chicken, and then we're gonna do the cheese. And I'm just gonna repeat that step or that process until I no longer have any more chicken or tortillas. So I did actually run out of tortillas, so I definitely could have made more. And the feedback I got on these from my husband was that I just used a little too much cheese, or too much of that sauce. So I definitely advise that, if you like sauce, you guys will be fine, but I did use a lot of the sauce mixture. So this is what it looks like. And then what we're gonna do is put some more of the cheese or the sauce mixture on top. And then we're gonna I did have some leftover chicken. I'm gonna sprinkle that on top, and then I'm gonna cover it with cheese. And I'm gonna put that in my oven at 375 for 15 to 20 minutes. And everybody in my family loved it. It was so good. So on Pinterest, this next recipe I found was called beef and shells, but honestly this tasted like a homemade hamburger helper. So I have onions, garlic, sour cream, beef stock, flour, Italian seasoning, oregano, nonstick spray, shells, marinara sauce, heavy cream, and ground beef. So I went ahead and started cooking my pasta, and I sauteed the meat. And you're gonna see I start here with the sauce mixture. So in that same skillet that I made my meat, I'm going to go ahead and saute my onion and garlic, and then you're gonna stir in the flour. And my pans are really old, so I wasn't really sure about the consistency with that this made. As you can tell, I'm kind of like, what in the world? But then after this, you're gonna slowly stir in the stock, the marinara sauce, and your herb seasonings. And then you're just gonna let it boil and thicken. So I think I went ahead, later on you guys will see that I did add some more flour to thicken up my sauce mixture. So here it says slowly add in the beef stock, so I'm just slowly adding in this beef stock. I will have the recipe linked down below, so that you can kind of follow this a little bit better and get like the exact measurements on this. So we're gonna let this boil and get this sauce mixture going, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now we're gonna add in the cooked pasta, our meat, heavy cream, salt, and pepper. And then once we get that all nice and mixed in well together, you're gonna go ahead and add in your sour cream and cheese. And then once it all gets melted, it's gonna be good and ready to go. And I believe I paired this with just some garlic bread. You can always do, you know, like a side salad, but this was like a very, very heavy meal. And I will say my son, who never eats like marinara sauce, he did actually eat this and like it because of the heavy cream that I put in there, and it doesn't really look like pasta sauce. So once you taste it, you will see that it really looks like a homemade hamburger helper. So would I make this recipe again? I don't know, just because it was like really extra. But if you like homemade meals, then this is a delicious meal to make. And although there were a lot of ingredients, it didn't really take that long, I will say that. So this next recipe was super simple to make and super easy. It didn't take that long either. So I kind of just threw some ingredients together to try to make my own taco seasoning. I had some Mexican chili powder, some ground cumin, and then I had this Goya Mexican rice mix. So I just went ahead and seasoned my chicken. So just season that to your liking, just whatever you would prefer, but I definitely wanted to have more of like a taco seasoning vibe going on without using actual taco seasoning. So you're gonna boil some water. I believe it's like 2.5 cups or something for the rice, and then you're gonna cook your meat. So what I like to do is for my meat, I'll cook it and then I just put it in my air fryer for a few minutes to make sure it's cooked all the way through. So I actually looked at these instructions and I realized I had way too much water for my rice. So you'll see the water went down a whole lot. But I'm glad I read the instructions because it wouldn't have turned out right. So this was super, super simple. You're just gonna let that cook. I believe it was for about 20 minutes. You'll let it boil for 1 minute and then you'll turn the heat down and let it cook covered for 25 minutes. And then that's when I put my chicken in my air fryer. And then what I'm gonna do once it comes out is I'm gonna cut my chicken up. And if you don't use kitchen scissors, you're missing out. I just kind of jumped on the chicken scissor or the, kitchen scissors train. And I'm so mad that I haven't done this before. So you don't have to do this step. If you know you're confident in your chicken, then go ahead and do that. But I don't have a meat thermometer, so just to be extra careful, I cooked my chicken and then I cut it up. And I went ahead and just mixed this all together. You don't have to cut it if you don't want to, and it will still be fine. You can just have a whole piece of chicken and rice. But this was so good and super simple, and it really didn't take me that long at all. Everybody loved it. Last but certainly not least, we are making cheeseburger sliders. These, oh my goodness, they're so good. So I'm using Hawaiian rolls, cheese, mayonnaise, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of barbecue. So I went ahead and sauteed my meat and onions together. And then I never tried this before with mayonnaise, so it said about 1/3 of a cup, but I just went in with a couple spoonfuls of that and some Worcestershire sauce, or however you say it, and then a little bit of barbecue sauce, and then I mixed that together. And I was still a little unsure about it because of the color that it came out, but it was actually really, really good. It still gives you that hamburger vibe with the mayonnaise, but I didn't use a whole lot, and I wouldn't recommend 1/3 of the cup. So now I'm gonna go in with my Hawaiian rolls. These things are so good by themselves, but these are awesome for my family because we have lots of little ones, and these are perfect for them to kind of just pick up and hold. They're not like huge burgers. So I started cutting these in half, and then I realized maybe I should line these up. So you want to make sure that you have them nice and lined up together. And then the first layer is going to be your sliced cheese. Use as much or as little as you would like, but just try to make sure to get them all, nice and lined up together, because that's how it's going to cook better, and it'll be easy to cut as well. And then after you add in your cheese, you're going to go ahead and add in the meat and layer that nice and well. And you'll see I actually had a lot left over, so I use 2.5 pounds of meat. So I definitely, if you do use that much, get 24 rolls. Okay, I used 12 and I just had so much left over, so I did go in with some hamburger rolls or hamburger buns and did the rest, and my husband had those bigger ones. I'm sure it would be good with like hamburger buns, but these are sliders, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the cheese and stuff on those and then move them all kind of together. And then you're gonna go ahead and add whatever you would like. I don't have pickles on hand right now, so I didn't use those, but pickles, sliced pickles, so good, ketchup, mustard, barbecue sauce, whatever you like to put on your hamburgers, go ahead and do that. And then you're gonna go ahead and layer it with another layer of cheese slices. And then you're gonna put the top on. I've seen people do butter and put sesame seeds on the top of the rolls. I didn't do that, but you can if you would like. These are so good. These are so good. My kids get so happy when I tell them we're having cheeseburger sliders. And then we're gonna put the tops on. And then I put these in my oven at about 350 for, I want to say, about 8 minutes. Sometimes I put them in for longer and my buns would get like really dark and kind of hard, so just keep an eye on those. I would say if you do like 375, maybe 5 minutes, but that is just, you know, personal preference. And this is what it looks like when it was done. Not really a big difference, but I had to show you guys a close-up of these sliders. Like, oh my goodness, so good, so good. And I paired these with some tater tots and french fries. And that wraps up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in our next video. Bye.